Yes, welcome back. And now Sunrise moves on, and we're going to talk about something that is somehow related to what we just talked about. We're looking at the impact of unemployment in nation building. You have to go to school before you begin to seek employment. If you're not educated, you can't seek at least decent employment. So you will be unemployed, in short. One of the major threats to Nigeria's economic and social stability is the large number of unemployed and underemployed people, especially youths who roam the streets nationwide. No doubt those idle hands constitute huge productive economic loss and security risk to the society, as they could be willing tools for mischief makers and a breeding place for all sorts of social vices. Need we say more about that? You can see them, in almost every city in Nigeria. You see idle hands who are readily used, especially in times of political campaigns and elections. Now, these are the things that we want to talk about today and look at how to correct this. It's my pleasure indeed to welcome Mr. Anthony Arabome, who is the President and Chairman of Governing Council, Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria, CIPM. Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Next to him is Mr. Udom Inoyo, Vice President of the Institute. Sunday Adeyemi is the Registrar, and Mr. Musa Rabiu is the Chairman, Management of National Unemployment Challenge. They actually have a special committee to look at national unemployment. Sounds good to me. Now let me begin with the President. What is your impression of the nation's economic situation? We say we're in a recession.
Well, that's the view of experts. Expert opinion clearly indicate that Nigeria is in a recession, and one of the ways to begin to appreciate that is the fact that we reported negative GDP growth rate in the last 3 consecutive quarters. This is accentuated by low oil prices, which have in turn created a situation of dwindling oil revenues to the federal government. It's giving rise to rising price inflation, job losses, and a very patently poor employment generation capacity of the economy. The other thing that's caught up with us is the nation's long-standing dependence on a single commodity, oil, which price has nosedived from over $120 per barrel in 2014 to just under $50 in August 2016. When you add that to the all-pervading imprudent resource management, there are 2 key factors that have led us to where we are now, where we have biting recession. In sum, we have a dire economic situation which is characterized by a vicious circle of dwindling oil revenues, dwindling foreign reserves, a stumbling and stuttering naira, huge locked-in potential in oil production due to the, not least, the damage of oil facilities by militants. Lots of companies and businesses are operating way below installed capacity. There are layoffs. There's stifling stagflation, which is an economic term for simultaneous rise in employment and in unemployment and inflation, and backlog of even unpaid salaries and wages. As far as we're concerned, this is a very depressing picture, and it will take business unusual measures to address this challenge, which is no doubt something that we believe the government of the day is wrestling with. What we make as a pledge is that we as CIPM, we want to be part of that solution, and we're committed to playing a role instead of sitting back and being armchair critics, which is a very easy option to take in a situation such as this.
Mr. Noyo, let me put this question to you. Now, the current situation that your president has painted or put forth, do you think is responsible for the current unemployment situation, or are there other factors that might be responsible for all of this?
My response would be yes, absolutely. He's done a good job painting the situation, but there are historical reasons. But this is the reality.
That's a very fine picture, I must admit.
Not very fine, not complimentary. But again, I think there is hope. You see, because the various sectors of the economy are connected, what tends to affect one sector ultimately affects the other. If you take the oil and gas sector, for example, I still recall 2010 when the National Content Act was passed and how many Nigerians embraced that law. And they went into various aspects of the oil and gas business. So just imagine a Nigerian who went into, a drilling business, vessel business. And because the industry is not properly funded today, the industry is suffering, a lot of production challenges. What's going to happen to that business? If you had 100 people on your drilling rig, you have to demobilize 100 people out of employment. Same thing with the manufacturing. Airlines yesterday were complaining if they are borrowing money at 24% interest, how much are they making? And they are now looking for bailout. So all these scenarios, of course, have really fueled the unemployment situation. But there is hope, and that's why we are here. And I think on one hand, the government is doing a lot. We listen to the vice president, who is in charge of the economy, almost on a weekly basis, talking about government efforts, initiatives. And CIPM is here to really complement government efforts, and you'll be listening more about what we're doing. Okay,
Mr. Rabiu, there's this report by that's out there, an interesting report by the CIPM on the increasing rate of unemployment. Can you shed more light on that report, and then maybe tell us what exactly informed the research and then the subsequent report?
Thank you very much. It is true that the research that you refer to was conducted by the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, CIPM, and there are three levels of responding to the question you have just posed. One is, why did we do it? How did we do it? And what are the results? Why did we do it? CIPM is chartered by law, the Act of Parliament, number 50 of 1992, to regulate the practice of human resource management practice and to enable the management of the human capital of this country to be optimum. So we saw the need to address the issue of unemployment because it's a potential, time bomb for our country. So we addressed it from a strategic point of view of how do we manage unemployment. So it's a challenge. So that is one. And then we look at a number of empirical questions because this is research. For example, what are the root causes or secondary causes of unemployment in Nigeria? How do we manage that? And what practicable solutions should we profile as recommendations to key stakeholders, including the government?
Mr. Rabi, can you just hold that thought, please?
Okay.
We need to take a short break and come back.